What's going on, guys? It's Sonic Gamer 2727 here with a Pokemon TCG deck profile. Can I move this to get a better shot of it? No, I can't. Alright, whatever, guys. So welcome. Today I have a new deck that I have not profiled yet on the channel, so it's not Mega Gardevoir. Today we are instead playing a new thing. This deck is, well, it's a Mew box deck. So we're going to set up our main attacker up in the corner. We run 2 copies of this Mew. It's versatile and replace. We use it mainly for the ability versatile, which, if my camera will focus, please. There you go. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any Pokemon to play, both yours and your opponent's, but you still need energy. And replace just moves your energy around. So we're not really going to be using the same for replace. Mainly it's for versatile. We got 120 HP, 1 retreat cost. Our weakness is psychic. But yeah, it's a really solid Pokemon for standards of this deck. Next up, we run 1 copy of Jolteon EX, mainly for its attack Flash Ray. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. So, no basic Pokemon can hurt this thing after I use Flash Ray, and I can copy Flash Ray with Mew to Flash Ray with the Mew, and it does a lot better because that way I have to put my 1 Jolteon EX in harm's way. So we run 1 copy of Jolteon EX. Next up, we run 1 copy of Glaceon EX with Crystal Ray. That is the same thing with Jolteon, except for evolution Pokemon. So no evolutions can hurt it on your next turn. And this is where this deck really kind of shines. You can rotate between your Jolteons, your Glaceons, and some other attackers. I'll show you guys in a few seconds, and you just try to annoy your opponent enough to the point where they can't continue doing their work. So 1 copy of Glaceon EX. Now we run our only non-EX attacker, which is 1 copy of Regice for Resistance Blizzard. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX. So we can just try to use Regice if we're facing maybe an EX heavy deck, maybe a Mega deck, maybe a Mega Rayquaza, let's say. Maybe they're not running many attacks, they're just running kind of a straight Mega Ray line. You can kind of say, no, I will just play this and Resistance Blizzard you repeatedly. And that works out pretty well. So we run 1 copy of Regice. Next up, we run 1 copy of Espeon EX. This is for the Greninja Break matchup. They will tend to affect a lot of decks because you do 70 damage. Pretty much 70 to 80 damage with most of your attacks. So sometimes you will leave Pokemon that have evolved with not very much health left, and they switch, Greninja. You might hit it once, and they might switch to another Pokemon, then switch again. Then you can kind of you can do something to just bench your Espeon EX and go for Miraculous Shine and potentially de-evolve all of their Pokemon and take 3 to 4 prizes in 1 turn. Very situational, but very, very good if you can pull it off. It's hard to do, but you can do it. You're usually going to take a lot of prizes. Next up, we have 1 copy of Shaman EX. This is also for the Greninja matchup. If it has its ability's not bad. Aroma of Gratitude. Once you turn before you attack, you can heal 20 damage for each of your bench basic Pokemon. So it's a really good ability in general. And then you have Floral Gain, which is 60, and you heal 20 damage and remove all special conditions from this Pokemon. Now, if you have a Fighting Fury Belt, that ends up killing a Greninja. Not Break, just a straight up Greninja. Nice, not amazing, but gets the job done in most circumstances. Most of the time, you'll just be rocking out with Jolteons and Glaceons, but you never know. Usually you're Regice, but sometimes this card really helps. Now, this next card will seem very interesting or, super not interesting at all. And it is 1 copy of Magearna EX. So we know what Magearna's ability does, but its attack is 120, and during your next turn, this attack only does 60. So it's really not that good. Why is it in the deck, then? Because if you copy Soul Blaster with your Mew, that 120 becomes a lot more damage. And by a lot more damage, I mean about 240 damage total. Killing Mega Mewtwo EX, making this deck a very solid Mega Mewtwo deck matchup. That's one of the biggest reasons why we can really effectively deal with the deck. Next up, we have our support engine, really. Just 1 copy of Hoopa and 2 copies of Shaman EX. I know, you guys are trying to get away with maybe a cheaper deck, but I mean, it's like running Jolteon. You can't get away with anything cheaper. Yeah, you're really not going to. Now, some Pokemon techs I consider would be a harder hitting Pokemon. It'd be like the big thing, which is something that can hit harder. I would maybe consider taking out the Espeon and Shaman for a second Jolteon and a second Glaceon. Definitely something I consider, but right now I'm rocking out with this. So we should do a total of 3 Shaman EX. But hey, we're not breaking any rules, so yeah, we're rocking out with that. I think I'm just gonna stack up my support Pokemon over there. You can barely see them, but they're still in shot. Let's go with it. Next up for our supporter line, we run over the top. We run 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Card just amazing. You usually don't want to get rid of too much stuff with this deck, but you can get away with it with Professor blah 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 blah. But you can get away with it with Professor Sycamore. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say for like an hour and a half now. This card equals good, okay? Just trust me on it. It helps out a lot. So we got 4 of these guys. Come on. There we go. Barely in shot, but doesn't really matter. Not really. Next up we have... this is something that I have to change here. We have 4 copies of N, but one of these is going to become a Hex Maniac. I'm just going to let you guys know on that right now. I would definitely switch out one of your N's for a Hex Maniac. If you're copying my list exactly, take out this, make it a Hex Maniac. Alright? It would be very, very helpful. And you shuffle your hand into your deck, and both players shuffle their hand into their deck. Yeah, they shuffle their hand into a deck, and they draw a card for each prize card that they have remaining. So very good for late game disruption, and very good even for early game draw. But definitely switch one of those out for a Hex Maniac. You will want it. Next up, we have 2 copies of Lysander. Pretty basic. Next up, it's where the deck really shines. Like, really shines. 2 copies of Ninja Boy. Now, this card says... Want to focus camera a little bit better? There you go. Choose one of your basic Pokemon and play. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and switch it with that Pokemon. Any cards attached, damage counters, special energy, or special conditions. Sorry, my nose is blocked all of a sudden. Stay on the new Pokemon so it turns in play, all that kind of stuff. And you just shuffle the first Pokemon back into the deck. So with your wide array of attackers, as you guys can see up there, maybe you start with one that you don't particularly need in a matchup. You can just kind of go, oh, I don't want this thing. I'll get back into the deck. Goodbye. Next up, we are 1 copy of Pokemon Ranger because Jolteon kind of hurts us. Jolteon's really annoying for us to face, as well as sometimes Volcanion can be rough, but mainly it's just for, opposing Jolteon EX. Next up, we run 4 copies of, if I can get it to fix itself properly, 4 copies of VS Seeker. Put a support card from your Squirtle back into your hand. Just good. Just straight up good. Next up, we run 4 copies of, again, my nose is blocked, Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Choose a trainer card there, except for Trainer's Mail, and put it into your hand. Really helps you with your early game setup. Next up, we have 4 copies of... Come on. Ultra Ball! We all love this card. It discards 2 cards from your hand. Search it for any Pokemon. Usually you'll grab yourself a Hoopa. Then with Hoopa, you grab yourself, well, whatever you need for the particular matchup. Really strong. I'm going to clean up. What do I want to clean up? Oh, I'll be right back, guys. Alright, so we are back. I just kind of squished everything up and moved everything around. Next up, we have 4 copies of, you guys have seen the theme here. We like to run 4 of here. Crushing Hammer. Flip a coin, if heads, discard an energy attacks one of your opponent's Pokemon. Doesn't basic, doesn't special. This card is broken, especially if you get some heads on it. It is really, really strong, and it just helps you win games faster and disrupt the opponent some more. Next up, we run just some one-offs here. 1 copy of Special Charge, shuffle back into Special Energy. 1 copy of Super Rod, just recover any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards. 1 copy of Escape Rope, base, pretty standard. 3 copies of Fighting Fury Belt, just to give our attackers 20 more health, 40 more health, and do 10 more damage. So pretty basic as well. We run 2 copies of Back Up the Camera. Yeah, we obviously run 2 copies of Back Up the Camera. Duh, who doesn't? 2 copies of Floatstone, because Free Retreat is nice on your Pokemon. 2 copies of Parallel City, because this deck doesn't really need any stadiums in particular, and Parallel City is always nice. Next up, we run 4 copies of DCE, because all of our attackers actually use DCE in our deck. It's pretty nice. So there's 4 copies of it. You run 4 copies of Rainbow Energy, because it counts as any kind of energy, but you have to deal 10 damage to yourself, which with all of your low HP Pokemon really doesn't matter. Then we also just have 1 copy of Water and 1 copy of Lightning Energy. So that's the deck, guys. I'm just going to go over a little recap about my day today playing this deck. Game 1, I faced off against a Greninja Break. I went to time with it, and I flipped all 4 tails on hammers. And then round 3 of time, he top decked a Lysander to win the game. Game number 2, I faced Carbink. I basically faced Foil Lucario with Carbink with Safeguard, and I couldn't do much. I'm not even gonna lie. I took 5 prizes, then he killed my Regice. And then I kind of just went, yeah, he killed my Regice, and I didn't have my Super out of my deck, and I kind of just went, well, looks like my out to winning this game is gone. Then game 3, I faced off against a Unpheasant Mega Altario, which kind of should mess with stuff, and pretty easily walked all over it with Jolteon, Glaceon, Regice. So yeah, that was my day with this playing this deck. This deck is really good, really consistent, and really good at setting up. Considering that you really are you only use basic Pokemon, and Hoopa searches out everything you need. Besides your Regice. It's really consistent. It really works well. Just remember, cut 1 end for a Hex Maniac. Something I should have done before this. Oh god, I'm dropping the camera. Something I definitely should have done before this video, but I forgot to. So either way, that's the deck. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and see you guys all on Tuesday for some Smash Bros. Content. Yes, there will be Smash Bros. Content this Tuesday. Goodbye.